Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you also.
Okay, anybody question for Ajit? No? Yes, yes.
So, yeah, Dr. Ajit, you mentioned about the small tractor, electric tractor. What is the right horsepower? You have any studies there overall for India requirements? What would be the best? Because again, if you look at the small tractors in India, these are their range actually. So, what would you suggest there? Or is there you want to make it like stackable, power, something like that?
Yes, it's a very good question. The question is about what is the appropriate horsepower rating. It of course varies. The tractor that we designed, the two-wheel tractor that you saw walk behind, our goal was it should emulate a pair of oxen. So that one was a 2 horsepower unit, and it exceeded the performance of a pair of oxen. So our thought was that the farmers who are using pair of oxen for the farming operation, they can use this tractor, and they're used to attaching implements to it, and that way it will simply replace a pair of oxen. So it was 2 horsepower, but a 4-wheel tractor, which is a riding kind tractor, needs to be in the 30 to 40 horsepower range for multiple operation. So the tractor, the 4-wheel tractor, was a 25 kilowatt or around 30 to 34 horsepower range. So that would be somewhat of a medium-sized farm or someone who is providing agricultural services to farms. So those are the tractors that I'm thinking about. You can also imagine a riding tractor, which is much smaller, something like 10 to 15 horsepower, that is owned by a small farmer, and it can then also do multiple other operations besides field operations. So if it is a 2-wheel walk behind, it can be between 2 to 5 horsepower. Then a very small electric tractor could be around 10 to 15 horsepower, or general purpose tractor could be in the 30 to 40 horsepower range. Today, most of the tractors sold in India fall in that category, maybe 50 horsepower, and that would meet most needs in India. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Professor Srivastava. I'm Indramani.
Hello, Indramani.
First time I met you in IIT Bangkok in 1990 during this.
I absolutely remember that, 91, yes.
Yeah, we received you in the division medal. Thanks, and nice to see you. My just a small query is that what has been the traction development pattern, because so far we have the philosophy of tractor design has been that power should not be a limitation. That was the first sentence written in even textbooks, that power should not be limitation in tractor design. So I think what has been the traction, how much traction we could develop with this, and what has been the pattern of traction developed with load in this design? Traction.
Yeah, let me, the sound was not all that clear, but let me guess what you were saying. I think you're saying that the power should not be a limiting factor in design a tractor, is the traction. And so we did some study with the 2-wheel tractor. Our tractive efficiency was 0.3, which is right on mark with most studies on tractive efficiency. Generally, they say that the weight of the tractor, you multiply it by 0.3, is the amount of draft you can generate. And this is exactly what we received. Our weight on the rear wheel was approximately 700 pounds, and we were able to get 200 to 250 pounds of draft force. So that was actually very good. If you notice in the video, there was one point where the load was too much and our wheel slipped.
Right.
quite a bit, and that means there is enough power in the motor, and that it was able to spin out. I think the tractor should be designed that it should spin out the wheels and not get bogged down, and which it did. So we were very happy with that. And there was no hydraulic in that. It was simply a V-belt that was driven by electric motor into a mechanical gear reduction unit.
Great. Actually, we also feel here, and even industry is also trying tractor. Electric tractors are future tractor. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sayed,
Ajit, after 38 years, Syed here. You recall me? You visited me in Hohenheim. You visited me in Hohenheim in Stuttgart.
I'm seeing the back of you, so I cannot see your face. So if you turn around, okay.
Yeah, very happy to see you.
Same
Very
here.
happy to see you actually. Okay, we'll meet often. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
anybody has any other follow-up question? You have a question?
Yes, Ajit, this is the same, when you said 30 to 40 horsepower tractor, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Do you need motors to be cooled, and do you have a cooled motors at that horsepower levels or power levels?
Yeah, these are air-cooled motors. And we had an inverter also, so we had to mount a cooling pad for the inverter to cool the inverter by air, and the electric motor is also air-cooled.
Thank you.
Ajit, you have excellent example. We are classmates, okay? And you studied not only bachelor, masters together, engineer together on a farm, and then later on we are still working together. So Ajit, keep up the teamwork, okay? Good.
Thank you.
Any question for Dharmendra Srivastava? If you remember, detecting the diseases, all that. Dharmendra is not. Yeah. Dharmendra, we see him there. That's the reason I saw him on the screen. Yeah, he's there. Oh.
I'm there, very much there.
Oh, thank you, Dharmendra. We could listen to your recorded one, but sorry we could not communicate with you because your presentation was so technical. I think we were hesitant to ask you questions.
No, I mean, in short, our hope is that using the advanced technologies, we can create intelligent machines so that they can assist our scouting personnel to be more effective. And then these machines could also make intelligent decisions so that the spraying efficiency is increased, we can protect the environment, so on and so forth.
Can you tell us, you will be here in New Delhi, especially IRI, what will you be doing? So how we will interact with you or the people here?
Yes, and thank
more useful. Okay, give us some background. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, today happens to be Gandhi Jayanti, and 3 years ago on this day, Prime Minister Modi's initiative was Vaibhav Conference. So I was one of the speakers during that conference, and at that time I seeded an idea that we need an early warning rice disease forecasting system. And that idea was supported by several, including Dr. Sikka, who was heading that panel in which I presented this presentation. And since then, I have been encouraged by several colleagues in India, including Dr. Indramani, who is now the Honorable Vice Chancellor, and he helped me organize a virtual session with all the RICE directors and the ICAR colleagues, the director IRI, etc. And that led to a project idea on developing the workflow for all the data analysis that IARI has created a phenotyping center in New Delhi. So extending the idea that was seeded in 2020, I proposed this project to the Fulbright Foundation in US, that I would like to spend time with the Indian Agriculture Research Institute working on this idea, and also translating the agricultural informatics course curriculum that we have developed in US to train College of Agriculture students in utilizing data science for analyzing data in agriculture. So both these ideas were proposed, and thankfully the commission here supported it, the Indian colleagues supported it, and as a result, I will be spending 6 months starting middle of November at IRI. So although IRI will be my headquarter, but I am very clear in my mind that I will be going around and talking to the colleagues, and particularly students, the next generation students, who should hear that what type of opportunities exist and how they can take advantage of it. Because the course curriculum that we have developed, right now we are developing a GitHub open page so that anyone in any part of the world can download it. But the advantage of my presence in India is that I will be able to help colleagues in IRI to adapt the examples that we use in US to Indian conditions, so that students can relate to the same techniques that we are teaching to students here. So I'm looking forward to working with whosoever is interested. Dr. Jha, Dr. S.N. Jha, the Deputy Director General Engineering, when he was here in USA, he really liked this idea, and he put me in touch with the Director CIAE and then also Director CIFET. So they will be organizing 2-week-long workshops where there will be another colleague from University of Nebraska, Dr. Santosh Pitla, who has earned a good name in creating robots for production agriculture. So we will be offering workshops, and an announcement will be sent out by the respective directors once I have given green signal by the Consulate General in Chicago. So please come, listen to us, and also share your experiences so that we both can grow together.
Thank you, Dharmendra. Anybody else? No. Yes, please.
Hello, sir. My name is Vishal, PhD scholar from Central Maratha Vidyapit, Parbhani. So my question is to Dr. Ajit, sir. That, sir, how we can maintain torque at different depth and width of operation for different kind of field operations? If there is no gearbox, then how we can maintain the torque? Thank you.
Yes, a very good question. You have to have a speed control, which we actually did not have on our 2-wheel tractor, but in the 4-wheel tractor, we have a electronic speed control. That means we can slow down the electric motor, and also it is driving a hydrostatic pump, which is a variable displacement axial pump. So you can actually have, by adjusting the displacement of the pump with the foot pedal and the speed of the electric motor, you have infinite combination of speeds for different operations. So speed control is not a problem at all. Did I answer your question?
Thank you, Ajit. No, you did very well. So thank you very much, Ajit and Dharmendra, especially staying awake
Thank you.
late in the night. Thank you.
So these are question answering.
We will go now. We have to go to the next speaker now. Yeah. The next presentation is from Professor Vijay Singh. He is a professor at University of Illinois. He actually has a very good setup Vijay Singh, are you online?
Yes, good evening, Dr. Singh. I'm here.
Okay, I can hear you, Vijay. So your presentation is here with us. We will play the recording first, okay? And then
Sure.
we will participate in question answers, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay?
And I am
Sure. Thank you.
Integrated Bioprocessing Research Lab and also at IBRL in developing agri-biotech industry in US and beyond.
Thank you, Vijay. Would anybody like to ask? Look at the agricultural engineers, what kind of activities they are involved, such a diverse field of research. You have gone through something? Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Murthy here. So I had a question regarding the industrial enzymes sector that you are talking. What kind of industrial enzymes are there? I mean, what is the possibility of those industrial enzymes? Or which categories of industrial enzymes are there for the future, which have the greatest market potential, let's say next?
Okay, so the sound quality wasn't good, but I believe you asked about industrial enzymes and how are industrial enzymes expected to do going forward, and what specific enzymes are expected to grow in next few years. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so yes, that is correct. So industrial enzymes is one of the market that is expected to grow in double digits. There are many class of enzymes. Now, what is happening is that we are starting to produce, as I mentioned in my presentation, a lot of food and consumer products from sugars. So we can make food proteins, we can make polymers, we can make these polymers for cosmetics, for plastics, and there are many steps, unit operations where these enzymes are needed, either to break down these structural carbohydrates or storage carbohydrates, or even to break down proteins or other polymers. So there's a wide variety of enzymes, industrial enzymes that would be needed. And that's why that is one of the area that is expected to grow very rapidly. In fact, it is growing at a very, very fast pace.
Ashish, we will be presenting, we will be making your presentation soon. You will be available for questions, question answer. Hello? Oh. Okay. अभी विजय सिंह से चल रहा है इंटरेक्शन, इट सीम टू वर्क. I don't know. You up to you. If you are available, okay. Not then yes. Exactly same track. We are on track. Anybody else, or should we move to the next one? Huh? No. What I was saying, you look at the variety of activities or disciplines agricultural engineers are able to handle at the highest level, very competitive worldwide. So that's where the future is for agriculture engineers. Don't limit yourself to the plow and harrows and seeders, okay, and irrigation pump and little bit of drying in here, okay. Just whole world is open to you, okay. So I think the next presentation. What is the time now? Are we?
5 minutes.
We still have 5 minutes.
Yeah, 7:30 dinner.
Huh?
7:30.
No, dinner. We will finish in time. No, that's not. I'm saying we are running 5 minutes ahead. So any question bothering to anybody? Anybody can answer to anybody. Huh? Anybody wants to raise any issue? Students, आप कुछ बोलिए ना. आप लोग सुनते रहे. प्रोफेसर साहब की क्लास में तो चुप रहते हो, यहाँ तो नहीं रहो ना. हाँ बोलिए.
We have large farms and we use tractor mounted sprayers. Yes. And they have so many issues because they have developed a ULV for grape gardens. In the afternoon, I was asking for that question. So No, sir is there, I think. He is there. So question is to you, sir, please. Sir, particularly for soybean and other field crops, we need flanked tractor mounted sprayers. We have it, but the efficiency of sprayer is not good. I don't have any particular information that whether ASPIP provides this kind of sprayers or it is just giving only sprayers for gardens, particularly with inclined flanks.
या तो आप उनकी तरफ मूव करें या वो इधर आए. Can you use the microphone? It's closer.
मेरा क्वेश्चन समझ में आया. हाँ.
Yes, of course.
थोड़े खड़े हो जाइए अच्छे दिखाई देंगे.
Of course, we are having a solution for your question. We have developed this ULV sprayer not only for grapes, but its arms as well as nozzle both flexible so enough to make it suitable for other dense dense vegetable crops and canopy also.
Spare part का बहुत issue होता है. Spare parts.
Yeah, this is of course 100% indigenous product, so there will be no issue of spare parts. We are in the market since 1946. So if we are developing such wonderful product, then definitely we will provide a solution of spare parts also.
Sir, I have one question related to this.
Yes.
What Dr. Sadhav he has raised, actually, that is the reality in the market. As speed distributors or dealers they are having holding the market, and the spare parts are not available. Although the SP products are very good, they are not available with the farmers. So that is the reason actually your distribution marketing system, I think you have to review that.
Okay. Just later on tomorrow, give you what are the requirements you have, especially you mentioned it. Otherwise,
Very small things, but those are very difficult.
no, I have idea because in this region there is shortages of dealer distributor what you mentioned. But I will definitely take care of all of you who have required any part. I will give my number. You specially call me anytime. I will give the number now. Yes, the number now. 93770.
Note down.
0.
Just a minute.
Okay. 93770.
Thank you, Vijay.
26706.
Thank you. You're welcome, Dr. Singh.
Okay. 706. I said worth it. Worth it.
Thank you.
I think we are ready for the next presentation. We can see you.
Do you hear me okay now?
Now we can hear you, yes. Any question? This is a multidisciplinary team as you saw, okay? Ashish, can you explain the disciplines of your team?
Oh, that's a good question, Dr. Singh. So it is people in agronomy, in breeding, in physiology, like, multiple disciplines on the ag side. And then on the engineering side, people from mechanical engineering, then people from some of the industrial design, people from the computer science. Of course, we also work with sociologists as well, because there is a component of, some of the human science factors that are becoming increasingly important. And then folks from, background in meteorology, so soil, air, water, everything under the sun. These, in our opinion, these problems cannot be solved with, as I said, in the presentation, in silos. So quite a multidisciplinary team.
Thank you, Ashish. I think all the problems are multidisciplinary. It's very hard to find any problem with a single discipline. So I think anybody has any questions or clarification? Yes, please.
Yes. Sir, very nice talk, sir. And as I know that you have very multidisciplinary approach. Just I want to know, you have just given that using your this AL model, you are able to predict the yield losses. So how means suppose crop is the harvesting stage, how early you are going to predict the yield losses? Sorry, yield estimates. And the second, you learned from your presentation, you are going to estimate the yield losses also. These two things parallelly you are doing at what stage? Exactly, because yield losses after any stress, either abiotic or abiotic stress. And we are very much interested to know the how much is yield estimates before the 1 month of harvest.
That's a great question. Thank you. Although they are kind of connected, I think the problem definition here probably should be looked at, slightly with independent lenses. For yield prediction, at least in the context of US or North American agriculture, there is less of an incentive to be able to predict early because farmers are locking in their prices, the selling price, quite early. So the model of how farmers are taking it to the market is a little different, but it does help some of the governmental agencies and some of the insurance company if they can get a good estimate of what the yield would be. There are some farmers, of course, that are interested in being able to estimate yield. Those estimates of yield, as you can, I'm sure that you work in the space. So as you know that farther out you are to the end point, more variance you would have in terms of your ability to predict. So you just have to, at least from my opinion, we just have to figure out what is that particular point that we absolutely, want to get that prediction. So these predictions that are happening or estimates that are happening. So again, I'm sorry, I'm going to take just a little bit of time. We do estimates of yield that are done on the reproductive organ. And that is truly an estimate. We do prediction when we are using some of the crop health and some of the other features of the canopy to come up with, a prediction that, okay, in 2 months' time when it reaches maturity, this is what the yield would be. We're using both of those approaches. I believe if there's some work that we have published in that space. So I don't have a, set answer of when it would be. I would say that it really depends on the problem definition and how early you want to have that yield prediction. Different, whether it's drone based or it's just, satellite based, we can come up with. For yield losses, it really depends on some of the weather variables as well as the presence of, you have to model what the pathogen dynamic is. And only then we can come up with the estimate of what would be the yield losses and what would be the impact if we apply different grades of pesticides and what time should they be applied. So those are the kinds of things that, that reinforcement learning, model that we talked about can accomplish. So this is an open problem. I don't think people have fully solved it. So, I would encourage all the colleagues here, that we continue exploring this space together.
Yes. So means definitely a very similar thing. I'm actually mentoring one of the data scientist group to work on. What we looked at, not directly the saying that we do the yield prediction. Of course, it's a confirmation. It's like, and Dr. Indramani also talked in the afternoon. We talked about the subsidy is one of the problems. We need to replace it by incentivizing the whole thing. So at the beginning itself, you have the parameters of, let's say you have started owning a group of farm there, saying that you start rating the farm, based on whatever you collect as a data and information. And also develop a sort of an intervention requirements. And as you see, go further, you decide the time frame based on the overall crop cycle and look at that rating. This rating is connected, in my opinion, to some of the financial things, which is like insurance you talked about, the banks, the loans, the planning and other purpose, and it goes on like it could be a periodic 1 month or whatever it is. And during that time, if he is intervening, it's expected certain results, Based on that results, you again do that and see that his farm is rated again to some levels. As it goes on up to the end of maybe the harvesting, you understand that yes, the yield has really come to a level because he did all this, so his farm is rated good. So that farmer is rated good, then you incentivize, and during the whole process, your whole mechanism of financing, loaning is also connected, So something I think I need to connect with you. I've been trying to mentor one of the data scientist group. A very similar approach is already developed as a concept with digital twin as considered. So it would be great to connect with you sometimes.
Great, thank you for your comment. And I know there was no question. So we have a National Science Foundation funded grant that my colleague, Dr. Ganapathy Subramanian at Iowa State, he's the lead PI. And in that AI Institute, that's one of 5 institutes that are in the US. One of the major themes is on digital twin, is development of digital twins at individual plant scale, and then all the way to canopy, like large farm scale. So I'll be very happy to further our discussion and get you in the right connections. One other thing you mentioned, there is an effort to bring, like there is another component of bringing communities together. And sometimes, individual farmer alone may not have all the information nor the tools to, make or get the decisions made for it to be a profitable, sustainable, high yield type of farm production. But then how can farmers leverage the information from each other's farm? And that allows them to, and again, it's a little bit of a cooperative system, but not quite. Then how do they leverage their combined strength in order to think of a larger region that is now more profitable, more sustainable? So both of those, I think you kind of touched on it, and it does bring out that social science component, a human science component, as we think about it.
Anybody else? No? Well, thank you, Ashish. We kept you out of your meeting. That's okay.
No,
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being late. Have a good meeting, everyone.
Well, we have one more presentation. Vasant Maheshwari from Australia, at University of Illinois in US. So this dryer is very cheap. It's very simple to make. Everything is available. And somehow in India, we try few places, but maybe Syed has some experience. Huh?
Yeah. Actually, 1.5 years back, I gave it to somebody in Chennai to make the dryer. I funded also, but I knew it. I given all the measurement, temperature, everything. But I think the guy was hesitant to make a blower, whatever the blower, the capacity was less. He was using exhaust. So there was a problem, but we continued with another one of our member. He's making a similar, same principle, but a bigger one with automatic loading and unloading. So just say 2 lines.
Yeah, maybe you can tell what you're doing to Dr. Anwar Alam, and he can help you in case you need.
Good afternoon, sir.
Little louder, closer.
What I have tried.
Closer.
Yeah, please. What I have tried is a recycling type of process whereby the paddy is being recycled, brought back into the bin so that the heating is uniform. And the capacity is around 1.25 tons. And I have used rather combustion, not a combustion one, like wood gasifier system. So which is cost effective as well as no emission, carbon emission.
Yeah, what we actually understand that we need to collaborate each other so we can learn from each other. This is this platform can actually offer peace among us. So what this is the dryer called the BUS dryer. This is for smallholder farmers, but we have designed a larger capacity dryer of 16 ton capacity for the rice mills. There are about 15,500 of rice mills. We call this meso rice mills. Initially, they used, the concrete drying floor, and the sun drying is the usual practice. So the full capacity of those industries, they cannot use it. So we have designed a dryer for that. So it is totally automated, and a particular dryer can actually handle the parboil and the aromatic rice. So all sorts of actually the drying chain we are working. So I think the collaboration between Bangladesh and India and some Asian countries, so that can help us all. Thank you. Thank you for questions there.
Thank you, Professor Manjur Rao. Anybody else? A quick question? Otherwise, or even if you don't know, please tell us. Yeah, say whatever coming to your mind. Yeah.
Sir, one of the feedback from the farmers. So myself, Dr. S.D. Pawar, working as a associate research and extension agronomist for Aurangabad and Jana district under BNMT Parvani. And so I am working with the farmers, and if you see the area under sorghum is decreasing day by day, and major problem is the labor, harvesting of the sorghum and permanent. There is a need to have harvesters for sorghum and maize.
Excuse me, sir. Can I comment? Yes, sir. During my PhD work, I have developed a rotary cutting type sorghum harvester, but it is of single row only. So we are in search of the manufacturer who will help for fabricating 3 rows or 2 row, multiple row harvester.
We can connect. No, or I think we have not tested.
Have you got prototype of?
Yes, sir. We are having prototype.
But what is the difficulty you had till now?
So cutting and conveying efficiency is good, but only the problem is it is as it is of single row, so efficiency is less.
No.
Field
Did you
efficiency.
talk to any industry till now or never?
Yes, sir. We are not able to find out the manufacturer for multiplying it.
No, any manufacturer you met.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But
What they told. We want to know the feedback.
sir, they are facing some difficulty in fabrication for that.
Okay. There is a problem in somebody can find out. Did you actually what industry wants is if you can find out what difficulty they had, if you list them, because if they already manufacturing, they have some difficulty.
Okay.
Maybe some other colleagues can help you to solve the difficulty. First question.
Somebody is there. He's saying that I can help.
Yeah.
Okay, they will, but they without knowing they will help. But I think when they know difficulties,
I think remember what we have been discussing for 2 days, that if you make the industry partner from the very beginning, see what industry does it has a much better assessment of market. Because they will work on whatever themselves. Okay. So a scientist does not have that one unless you do a proper survey yourself. Okay. It would also give you a very good idea of what it will cost. So they will use the standard components, standard parts available. Your design, I can tell you most of the agricultural engineering department, engineering colleges as such, fabricate based on what is available there. Okay. 7 इंच के बजाय 9 इंच की पुली लगा तो 9 ही लगा है ना और वो नहीं मिली बेल्ट फट इंजरी तो पुली बदल गई है ना so we try to because we are working on developing a principle okay we are not really developing a manufacturing design okay we are not developing prototype or manufacturing we in academics we basically work on testing a principle something like that mechanism will work it will work and it has to be translated into manufacturing. So that, but if you have a manufacturer from the very beginning, they will tell you, this is not going to go any further. Why you waste time? Okay. Or you go this approach. Okay. So I'm very strong about that, but I failed. I tried to do it 95, in ICR 96. Now our new DG is trying to push that we should have a collaboration with industry. Anyway, never late.
I have an idea. AAA already we have chat.
Yeah.
Interlink forum.
Yes.
So you can start a topic like this that people can exchange.
Sir, we have two challenges as far as the machinery is concerned. Sir. One is sorghum
harvester, another is cotton picker. So for both it is for PDT, Marathwada with both.
Very good. So I think the sorghum and cotton we already had good presentation from the farmer. Okay. And so anything else, madam? ढूंढेंगे तो
सर
मिल
अगर
जाएगा।
कोई हेल्प करने के लिए है तैयार तो we can approach them.
We offered already.
Okay sir, okay, thank you. Thank you sir.
We need a forum to.
So
take
we
all
can
this.
do ज्वार की रोटी खाने को तो मैं भी तैयार।
We are ready to do testing our.
Okay, now anybody else anything bothering anybody?